everybody, it's Sophie and Marco Dish Out on the Movies. We are the only movie review channel that reviews movies in terms of food. So, but we are marching towards the end of Better Call Saul with episode 6. We may be a little behind due to a few factors, but we'll finish it up. So, this is a review recap of episode 6, more of a review, called Wexler versus Goodman. A reminder that Kim's last name is Wexler. Sometimes you have to wonder why people act the way they do. Kim can be as bad as Jimmy, willing to bend the law to almost full breakage. And as long as it helps her or other people, why not? So, why is she like that? Where did she come from? And why do we care? Remember that saying about what happens when there are too many cooks in the kitchen? I think we might have that problem with Better Call Saul's writers. But I digress. Let's get back to Kim. The episode begins with what looks like a middle schooler waiting outside a school. It's dark. She has her coat on and is carrying a cello. A car drives up. It's her mother. She's been drinking. Little Kim can smell the beer. How late is she in picking her up? We only can guess. The actress playing the mother is the woman who plays Kim now. Only her hair, makeup, and dress are different.
Kim played her own mother?
Yep. Kim, as the young girl, is furious. Her mother said she had to sling back just one more before she could pick her up. Kim replies, "It smells like more than one." Her mother answers, "Come on, let's get some chicken nuggets and go home and watch TV." Nope. Kim decides to walk home in the dark with her cello strapped to her back, while her mom drives off. So this is a second hint about Kim's childhood. I guess it wasn't so good, and she has survived in spite of it. The rest of the episode is spent on the resolution of Mesa Verde and what happens with the last occupant on the land where they want to build a call center. After everything that Jimmy and his client does, he still has a few more tricks to pull out of his hat. Did everything turn out for the client? Even though this episode is long done and in the can, please watch it, especially this meeting between Jimmy, the Mesa Verde people, reps from Kim's law firm, and Kim herself, because she is knocked to her knees by what Jimmy devises, and she is livid. How does it turn out? Just watch. There's also another little dirty trick that Jimmy will pull on Howard in a restaurant while he's with Jimmy's old boss, Cliff. It's funny. Okay, Marco, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Uh, I'm really mixed about this episode because obviously when you see the title, Wexler v. Goodman, it kind of suggests that they're going to go to a legal battle against each other.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of disappointing that they didn't use that title for an episode where they might actually do that in the future. But I like this episode, kinda. I didn't really like it that much, though, because there's a lot of crap in it. That opening scene, it's okay, but it kind of drags on. Like, it didn't need to be that long. It should have been cut down. And then, and that's funny coming from me, since I want everything to be longer. And then you have the stuff with Jimmy making a video. I thought that was funny and good, obviously, because It reminds me of season 3 when he's doing the commercials, and so I like that part. And but just this episode is just over full of crap. You have the stuff with Kim and her job, with her evil boss and the evil firm, and the bank people. Like I just, like, it's Better Call Saul, not Better Call Kim, and and on top of that you have, but you have some good elements. I mean, it's just it's really mixed for me. I could almost, there's like two halves. There's one half that's really good that I like, and obviously this is an episode that a lot of people overrate, as with all Better Call Saul episodes, because if you don't know, if you go to IMDb, before Better Call Saul episodes air, there's over 300 to 500 reviews that all give it a 10 out of 10 every single week.
Terrible.
And so they're actually paying people to give it good reviews, to trash people who give it bad reviews, to delete bad reviews. And so it's almost like telling all by itself the fact that they have to pay for good reviews. Because I guarantee this episode would not be over 9 out of 10 as it is right now unless it had those paid reviews. So yeah, that's what really pushes me over the edge with all these episodes, with going as mean as I can, because this show, it just feels like it's going downhill fast, because they gotta rush everything, they gotta slam everything shut, they gotta get everything done as quick as possible. It just doesn't feel really natural anymore. Like I don't know, it has some good scenes. That doesn't really mean it's a good episode. It had a couple of good scenes, but other than that, well, Sophie.
Okay, well, the thing is, I haven't said, and neither did Marco, but Nacho has a little private meeting with Mike.
No, you don't need to spoil anything.
Oh, okay.
Sophie.
I want that. Okay. Well, the thing is, the thing I liked about the two biggest things that happen in this episode is this meeting at Mesa Verde with Mesa Verde.
You don't need to spoil anything.
Yeah, I know,
else,
but just
Sophie.
they're two big, lengthy.
Yeah, you don't need to spoil anything else.
Okay. Well, and then the other thing is Mike doing some
you don't
work.
need to spoil that.
Okay, I won't say anything specific, but Mike does some work for Gus, I guess you would say indirectly, and so that all of that, what he does, and then all of that meeting
Was good.
was really good, and really
And then,
they take up quite a bit of the episode, I believe.
But then everything else is.
And then it ends with all. I mean, these are long, drawn out events, scenes, whatever. But at the very end, then you have this little thing. It's just like a little bitty line. Kim says, you know, they talk.
No, you don't need to say that right now. We haven't even rated it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, that's just, and then that it ends in a weird thing.
Okay. What's your rating?
Well, I gave it an A. The reason why, and Marco, you know, we can't, the thing about Marco and me, we cannot, and we shouldn't, agree to be in sync with each other. We are giving our opinions, and that is the way everybody should be. They should respect other, and Marco is more of a technician.
What about
in other words, Marco would like to do this as a career.
What about next
I'm
episode?
just watching it as a viewer.
I'm just watching it as a viewer too.
No, you're more than that, because you look at things in a more technical way than I do, and probably it's a better way.
So you're saying this episode and the next episode are equally good?
I like this episode because there's so much.
Or what?
There's two big.
Or did they both?
Scenes that have a lot of content.
Did they both deserve the same rating, or is this better or worse than the next one?
Oh, well, the next one, which I just rewatched.
Don't spoil it.
Has a lot of stuff. I mean,
No,
a lot more than
it
this.
has nothing in it.
Well, yes, it does.
There's nothing in the whole episode except for that scene at the end.
That you have to. So what? When you say that, what does that mean? Nothing. Like, what does something constitute? In other words, what makes up, quote, something rather than nothing? Because it had a lot. I wrote it all down.
Yeah,
And,
it had a lot of little tiny quotes that you like.
Okay, well, we're.
But
You know,
I'm saying you give us an A, the same as next episode, or is it better or worse?
Oh, well, I just think they're
They're
different.
equally good.
I think they're both good, but they're different from each other because this one has two big events that they take a lot of showtime to present and play out. The next one is more of putting together a Lego or a jigsaw puzzle because there are all these pieces and some are bigger than the others. And really, if you look at it, that you don't. It's like you're not quite done with it yet.
You know,
so they have these pieces lying around.
You keep in mind though that the pieces ultimately get thrown in the trash.
Well, I know that, but well, I don't even know why you say that. But but anyway, I liked the episode.
So you give
I gave it an A because I thought the content you'll love it. It's unbelievable. All that over the topness.
Yeah, you'll love it if you get a check in the mail for $100 per episode that you give a 10 out of 10 on IMDb.
We don't get paid at all. We like Better Call Saul.
Well,
we were glad that they made a series with him because we thought, this is one thing we agree on, we thought he was a good character, and like a lot of people.
Well, really, the whole
liked
reason
his character.
The whole reason that I thought that Better Call Saul was good was because Breaking Bad was rushed to an ending too, and so I thought, oh, it's good that we're gonna get more Breaking Bad universe stuff because it's like it won't feel as rushed anymore because you can sort of combine them in a way.
Well, that is one thing that Marco and I agree on as well. I mean, and I'm thinking about, like, there's a lot of stuff on TV, and really, nobody can go to the movies now. And it wasn't like that before, but still, even when people could go to the movies a couple of months ago or whatever, it seemed like there were more things to watch on TV than were at the movies that were any good. And so instead of just making lots of junk, which I know there's lots of junk on TV, they have something like this that really could be really good. And I just don't know why they don't take more time with it. Why it has to be rushed. Marcos does all kinds of research on when people make these episodes about what they think, their intentions, their opinions, etc., etc. I don't. But he's found out that they want to make this series like a symmetrical thing with Breaking Bad in terms of length. And it's stupid. That is dumb. This isn't math. This is art.
You talked about this last season, Sophie. It's over.
I know, but I mean, really...
We know what's going to happen.
It's just yeah, we do know. But the thing is, you have a show like this which could be really good, and they could take
this episode yet.
They could take more time with it.
I haven't even gotten to rate this episode yet.
Okay, well, I told you I gave it an A. What'd you give it?
I give it a B minus.
Okay, well, you know, Marco would because he's so great.
I originally gave this episode an A minus, but I watched it again, and I felt like it took too long to get to those good parts. There's a lot of stuff where I was like, I don't care about this, like with Kim.
Well, I like
worse than Skylar on Breaking Bad. Worse way worse than Skylar on Breaking Bad.
Well, I didn't mind it, and I don't know if you're referring to the very intro part.
It was too long. It was too long. I told you that already. And then with the rest of the stuff, it's like her talking with the evil firm boss, her talking with the bank people, her at the end talking with Jimmy and being mad at him, the soap opera shit I don't give a flying fuck about. And
Marco.
then well, you're acting like this episode is
Well,
perfect. You didn't even talk about that stuff. Did you like that stuff too? Did you like the
well,
soap
I
opera
know what
stuff
you're
at the
talking.
end?
I know. Yeah, I know.
The
But
soap opera, the 20-minute soap opera stuff?
I don't think it was that long. I think it was like 10 minutes.
It was
or 5
longer.
minutes.
It was longer than the meeting that they had, where
Oh,
he
I
shows the
don't know.
commercial. Yeah,
But
and so
well, anyway, I do think this is for everything up to now and then beyond. There are a lot of times when Kim gives this big speech, and it is to Jimmy or whoever is in the scene at this big scene. And even in this episode, um, and the next one, we'll see, she gives these big speeches, and that seems to be even, and I don't think that Jimmy, from the beginning of this season until now, I don't think he's had any big speeches. Well, he did at the end of this one. Is this the one? No,
what?
it's the next one. But she has so many speeches. She tells somebody off.
Yeah.
And that's been really characteristic of this season, more than I ever remember. And more than Jimmy. She had probably, I would say, twice as many lengthy little telling off speeches than anybody else, and especially him, and he's the star.
Jimmy used to have a lot more to do. He used to have a lot more dialogue. He used to have a lot more character, and now he's like sort of a shell of what he once was.
Well, but the thing is, you're looking at it the wrong way.
Why?
Because I think because of his brother dying and all that.
Yeah, they never really resolved that whole, and see, we're talking about season 4 now because season 4 was done so poorly that it's still an issue. All these different things like the letter that wasn't written by Chuck, and then the whole emotion crap game where they're like, oh, he's not showing emotion, but oh, he's doing this and he's doing that. Oh, he's not sane. Oh, he's a weirdo now. He's doing this random thing. And it's like they never really made that an actual plot, and they never really resolved it or sort of like let us know like what was really going on. And so his character's just, I mean, I thought he was supposed to be Saul Goodman, and like he's just not there. And the way where it's gonna be like where he's Saul Goodman at the end of the series, and then we're not even gonna get to see any episodes where he's actually Saul, because he's not Saul this entire season.
Well, that's not true. I don't
Really?
agree with that. What about the? Now they've already shown this, and we've already talked about it, and it's already occurred. So, where he and the client, that's the guy whose land is trying to be absconded from him by Mesa Verde, or I should say stolen from him.
Yeah,
They do all those little incidents
that
where
was him. That was him being Jimmy.
Okay, I don't know what to say, and where it's okay.
Okay.
We can disagree, but because
I
we
like
shouldn't
the
be
stu- I
we
like the
shouldn't
stuff.
be agreeing with each other and just being in sync just because that's the quote right thing to do, because that's not right.
I like the stuff with Mike. I
Yeah.
like the scene where they have the meeting and they show the commercial. I like the making of the commercial, but that's about it for me. I think that a big issue this season is pacing, and also after effects from season 4, and it just shows how terrible season 4 is because it's still having an impact on the storytelling in this season, or maybe it's just the writers wanting to rush everything, because that's that's commonly a problem with this show. It never used to be like with seasons 1, 2, and 3. it never really felt like they were rushing, and now it always does because they're rushing it to end. So that's my review. We're gonna talk about the next episode next, and that episode's even worse.
Well, the next episode is definitely different than this one. I mean, yes, technically it's different. It has different content. But in this episode, I mean, there's two huge pieces.
And in the next episode,
there's
nothing
tons.
goes on.
It's like the Legos lying out on
No,
the table.
there's no
And there's some
Legos.
big pieces and some little pieces. And you're kind of putting stuff together, and some of it doesn't work.
And then they all get thrown in the trash.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
we do.
Well, now we do, since we had to watch that shitty finale.
But we'll be with you. And I want to say that Marco's been reading, he just mentioned it too, about he just looked it up and he could see that there were a whole bunch of reviews of an episode that hadn't even aired yet.
Yeah, that's happened with every episode this season.
And, like, why is that?
10
How
out of
could
10.
that be?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
And that's just, to me, if you are reviewing this episode and you're being paid to just give it positive views, that's wrong. Don't you think that's unethical, people? Really? I mean, either you're a reviewer because you want to give an honest appraisal, and why do you do it? Why do you want to review? Are you just doing it to get money? Or are you doing it because you want to steer people to, why would they want to watch the episode? Do they want to watch it?
Doing it to be popular and say, oh, look, I like the popular thing. I like Better Call Saul. And everyone else likes it, so why don't you like it? This show is underrated. Kim is the greatest character on television history. Oh, Jimmy is so bad for Kim because he does things illegal, but then she does illegal things too, but those things don't count because she's Kim, and she's better than everyone. That's what they say.
Well, that's just ridiculous. I mean, if you're just, because what you're doing is you're lying. Because there's no way that you thought, I don't believe it. Of course, well, we see this in real time on other subjects, that some people think other people are really perfect and they could do no wrong and they're the second coming of Christ.
We should do a parody, an episode where we just pretend to be those types of reviewers. You know, all the other reviewers that review Better Call Saul on YouTube. You know, like, oh, this episode was really good because it was also perfect, and I'm gonna kill myself if every single aspect of this episode doesn't win an Emmy, and because this show is just so underrated. I mean, every single scene is like a masterpiece, and like if you don't like it, then you don't know what you're talking about. That's because everyone got so upset when Kim said, Kim suggested that they should get married. You're like, oh no, she's gonna marry Jimmy, and Jimmy is horrible. I'm watching a show about Jimmy, but I hate Jimmy, and he's horrible.
Brother.
That's what they all said, all the comments. Oh my God, don't marry Jimmy. Oh, we all know this isn't going to end well because he's horrible.
Okay, well, the reason why they're saying that is because Kim and Nacho and Lalo are not in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, but who's been evil since season 4, though? Kim?
Well, maybe, but Gus has been the most evil of all.
Yeah.
He's like we've talked about this already. He's Darth Vader in New Mexico. So,
that's it.
That's it, everybody. So we'll be back for the next review, and that'll be episode 8, right? Bagman?
No, next episode is that shitty
JMM. And then
where
Bagman.
nothing happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back.
Goodbye.
Bye.